this Cobb kid taking a fight against Randall at all.
I mean, that's the fight. I think I've been hearing a lot of fans saying they want to see Blair Cobbs versus Quentin Randall. It's getting a lot of traction on social media. And it just comes down to, is a sanctioning body willing to sanction this fight for a number one contender or an international belt? Because all of a sudden now, if you give the winner a top 5 ranking in a world title, if you don't take it, you look Scary Mary.
Here's the thing. What does Cobbs got now? How many fights, Lou? Do you know?
I'm going to say off the top of my head about 14, 15.
Right. And my kid got 7, and I'll take that fight tomorrow. So, yeah, that you're right. Long as it's valuable, dollar-wise, and I ain't playing the old skip-out tactic. You know, I'm just saying, long as they pay him a decent amount, like he should for the 6 or 8 rounds, whatever they want. Fuck, 10 rounds. My kid can go all night. It don't fucking matter. We just got out the ring with fucking Jared Hurd. We'll walk him however long you want, but it's going to be, they're going to have to make the decision, do we want to get rid of this kid or not? Because he's going to lose. That's just what it is. It's just 1 + 2 = 3, man.
I think that the fear for you guys is Virgil Ortiz and Blair Cobbs are in the same weight class. And to me, that's always felt like an inevitable fight, is you put Virgil in with Blair.
And they close in rank. They close in record. Like there's no upside. There's no upside to Cobb fighting us because what he does get beat. Virgil Ortiz, okay.
He does that cool yell that he does, and he has the hair. He's got that going for him.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the kid sells and stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't dislike Blair Cobbs. When I was around him when we fought him, I mean, he's putting on a show for the cameras, but that ain't who he is. Whenever we was walking by him, you know, in the stadium and in the room and shit, he's kind of like a clean cut square kid. So. He's putting. I think he was probably wrestling or something when he was a kid, and he's promoting the shit. So I mean, kudos to him. But you know, like I said, Lou, I'll take that fight tomorrow.
Well, I think that what would be interesting about that fight to me is Quentin is the spiritual opposite of Blair, and I just would like to see that fight week because Q seems like he's about his business and he's not about talking. Blair, it seems like, likes to talk to get himself going for a fight. And I feel like both of them, with their temperaments, would piss each other off.
Well, yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't be no playing around. Quentin would go in there and drown him. That's just what he'll do and beat him up. So, and I'll respect the Cobbs and whoever his people is, man, they doing wonderful with him. The kid got 14 fights, he's undefeated. He even could say he beat me once, so all right, good. But yeah, man, ain't gonna happen, bro. That kid's in trouble if they put him in there with Randall. And y'all could take this snippet and put it wherever the fuck y'all want to do. That kid's in trouble. We'll cut his hand, shave his legs in that fucking ring, man.
I mean, Prince Ranch Boxing, Greg Hanley have done a really, really good job managing Blair's career. They've really they've elevated him. He had a draw early in his career, moved him up in weight, got him to this point, and he's got a big fan base. So, I mean, that's a great job from the manager and promoter side to get him to where he's at.
Absolutely. He's man, look, he's being seen. He's on the shows. Great thing. So we talking about Golden Boy, man. They got, you know, they got who they got. They got Sinisa, right? They got Sinisa and Marlin still. And then they got the Cobbs kid. They got Victor Ortiz. Would you say Victor Ortiz and Ryan Garcia is they top two?
Virgil. Victor is Victor, I think, might be facing legal action.
Virgil. Yeah. I apologize, brother. I did not mean to call you Victor Ortiz. That's what I meant to say. Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is from Texas, right?
Yeah, he's from San Antonio area, because that's where a lot of the Mexican that crew that went to Robert Garcia's, they all kind of San Antonio.
He's promising. He's got a lot of fans. I know Kelly and my guy over there, they love Ortiz, man, and I watch him when he fights. So I think that's probably their top guy. Him and Ryan is their top future guy. Would you say Ryan's a little ahead of him in popularity? But
I'd say Ryan's like ahead. Even I'm controversial, but I'd say he's even maybe a little ahead in skill because he's kind of had these fights where there's been more pressure. Like Virgil's had similar fights, but when you're fighting in a mellow environment and Ryan's come out and it's been a crowded arena before a Triple G fight the night before where people are more cheering to see him get knocked out than see him win. And when you fight on those stages, the performances don't always go that great, but I rate that higher than just fighting at the Sportatorium at 3:00.
I totally agree with you, man. That's a huge part of this thing. And you know, these kids get them adrenaline dumps early, you know, and sometimes the moment's too big for them. So it's a skill in and of itself. It's a skill to deal with the size of an event, you know. So yeah, I think Ryan's more popular and a little more acclimated to where he's going. You know, does he win? I don't know. How do y'all see his next fight with the is it Campbell he's fighting?
Yeah, he stops him 8-9. I think he's getting big. He's getting strong. I think he's going to break because Campbell fades in the second half of fights.
And he's getting educated, Luke. I mean, listen, man. I'm fans of trainers too, right? And I'm gonna tell you, man, the two train. I think me and Canelo's trainers the same age, I believe. But you know, he's leaps and bounds ahead of me with developing Canelo and all that type of shit. So I sit there and look at him, and I'm like, this kid here, him and I like that English guy, the young English guy. I don't know how the fuck you know
Ben Davison.
Yeah, bro. Them two dudes, I tell everybody, them the two trainers to me that's gonna end up, you know, in the annals of boxing trainers. I really see it, man. I think those guys, Ben Davison, I heard him talk a few times, calling fights and shit, you know, and he's seeing things that yeah, this dude's he's gonna be developing champions and taking on guys and making them champions the same way I think Canelo's guy is doing, and he's doing with Ryan Garcia, man. I think they the future of boxing as far as great trainer. You know, the next
like the iconic, the Manuel Stewarts and these guys.
Them guys. Right. Them guys, man, I they analyze, and I don't speak Spanish. So I know Canelo's trainer by his work, by looking at Canelo, man. I've been a Canelo fan for so long, and he's constantly, it's no secret, everybody knows he constantly went back. You can't whoop a light heavyweight champion and these super middleweights and all that shit when you're a little bitty guy, man, without knowing how to fight. And he's constantly got better, man. And you know, sooner or later, I tell all the people who don't like Canelo, you'll get your wish sooner or later because he's too fucking little, man. He's gonna bite off too much than he can chew. But goddamn, it's a ride on the way there. And he's dominating, man. So, and they'll be happy when some 6'2", 190 pound guy the night of the fight finally clips him, and they'll be excited and shit. And I'll say, yeah, but he was 6'2", 190 fucking pounds, bro. And the Mexicans 5-0, and supposed to be 150 pounds.
Tell him to stop eating all them goddamn steaks and stay at 154.
The money and greatness, bro.
Hey,
money and greatness.
So is it a fair statement to say that Ryan's ceiling is much higher than Virgil Ortiz?
I mean, naturally, yeah, because he's doing modeling and chick. Yeah, like he's doing chick stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I want to move on. I want to talk about some more exciting news that we heard from this weekend. You know, as y'all know, we're big supporters of women boxing, and it's no mystery to anyone that Derek's a huge Claressa Shields fan. What are y'all thoughts on her signing this MMA deal? Lukey?
I'm an MMA guy now, bro. I'm an MMA guy now. I don't know. Luke may have a little background. Man, listen, I don't pretend to know the shit I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I don't know should she do it. I do know this from the little bit I've trained some MMA guys. It's a completely different world. Everything don't compute, and it's scary to me, like to swap over that, because it's really not one size fits all, man. MMA from the little I know, they throw punches, bro. They don't box. They throwing punches. So you know how valuable is Claressa's skill set to an MMA setting? I don't know. And I know this: every gal she fights gonna run in there and try to tackle her. They ain't gonna stand there and box with her. So I just hope she's doing. And I see she went public on. She's with a MMA coach. I don't know who he is.
John Jackson Winklejohn. They're like Virgil Hunter, or they're like an iconic American MMA crew. They're like iconic. They're not just elite. They're like pioneer. They had like George St. Pierre and all those old famous fighter guys.
Well, fuck it. We going to the moon. Claressa Shields over everybody. Let's go.
What are your thoughts? Lucas?
I'm a big Claressa fan, and I gotta put that out there because, like, I think that people don't. She's in my top 10 pound for pound list, male or female. Like, I have to put in male or female because she's so talented, and people will love to discredit her by saying, "Well, this should be a male pound for pound list," and I'll go, "Bro, you only know 4 female pound for pound fighters. So if we do a female pound for pound list, you're not gonna look at it, and it'll discount her achievement." To me, it's kind of sad because you don't see men that win 2 gold medals, rarely ever. And if they do, they don't have to do something that they didn't spend their whole life doing. And that's what bums me out about this is it sort of says Claressa's saying, I can't make enough to retire just from doing this boxing, or it ain't worth it. And it's disheartening to me that someone that's so great and gave so much to the sport can't just be great and do what she has to do. She has to learn some other nonsense just to get that respect. And it just kind of bums me out because she really is the Muhammad Ali of women's boxing.
Yeah. And when it's over, when it's all said and done, you know, prior to Claressa, you know, I thought Lucia Riker was the best woman I've ever seen box, and not based on her competition, not based on her achievements or none of that. Just based on the eye test, I said Lucia Riker is the truth. And then Claressa Shields came, and I was like, oh shit. And so when she started calling herself the GOAT and all that, I was all on board. I was like, because when it's all said and done, she's gonna be the fucking greatest woman to ever lace up on gloves. And to see this, I'm kind of like Luke. I'm like, man, how the fuck all these boxing people? This is the thing. Women's boxing is on fire, more than it's ever been, more than the coal miner's daughter and Layla and all them. Because, you know, I was around in that era, and that was what you had. They was trying to manufacture opponents for Christy Martin. Then they were trying to manufacture opponents for Layla, right? And Mia St. John, all that. Claressa Shields is in an era where women can fight. She's fighting women that's fucking bad. Marlene
they've gone to the Olympics. Like, they have pedigree now.
Dude, I tell people, you know, fans, which I try not to talk to as much as I can about serious boxing, because, you know, a fan will say some shit like, "Coach, man, that's amateur boxing." No, snapperhead. We're not talking about the city fucking Golden Gloves, bro. We're talking about the world. We're talking about the Olympics. You got to be the world. When Quentin Randall was rated number 5 at 152 pounds in the world, it's because he's a bad motherfucker, man. So Claressa Shields dominated, and I put it in the intro of our podcast. She whooped the whole fucking world twice, not once. It wasn't an accident. And I'm gonna tell you something. When I watch